Yeah, Praveen. Wow, beautiful.
Good to see you.
Nice sitting.
Thank you.
Actually, I wish I could put my campaign sign behind me like the way you have Atlanta skyline.
పెట్టుకునేదండి ఇంకా కొద్దిగా మీరు కొద్దిగానే కిందికి అనుకోండి. ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఫైన్. ఇప్పుడుందా ఏమన్నా వెనకాల బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ పెట్టుకోవడానికి? యూ క్యాన్ పుట్, బట్ లైటింగ్ అన్ని ప్రాబ్లం అయితే లేండి, పర్వాలేదు. ఎందుకంటే మీది ఓన్లీ మనకు లేఅవుట్ వస్తుంది కదా, సో ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఫైన్. అన్న ఫైనలీ ఎప్పుడో కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళు మీరు. ఇన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ. అది చూసిందేడే నాకు ఐ వాస్ సో హ్యాపీ. ఎప్పుడో అయిపోవాలి మీరు. ఇప్పటి వరకు మీ ఎంబడి మేము తిరగాలి సెక్రటరీ లాగా.
అయ్యయ్యో బలవాగా అంతా. No, this is like I want to inspire people like you, next generation, to come and run for the office.
మొన్న ఆమె ఫోన్ చేసింది నాకు, క్రిస్టిన్ మార్సే.
ఎవరు?
మన ఫోర్సైత్ కౌంటీ బోర్డు చైర్మన్.
ఓకే
ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ బోర్డ్ చైర్మన్.
ఓకే.
ఫోన్ చేసి ప్రవీణ్ నువ్వు నిలబడాలి అని అన్నది. అంటే నేను రెడీ లేను, లెట్ మీ కొన్ని రోజులు అయినాక ఫస్ట్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డులో పెట్టమన్నా, సో దట్ ఐ కెన్ లెర్న్ సంథింగ్.
ఓకే, గుడ్. బాధ్యతలు ఉన్నప్పుడు చేయకూడదు, కొంచెం బాధ్యతలు.
ఇప్పుడు కష్టం, నా పాప ఇంకా చిన్న ఉంది కొద్దిగా. ఇప్పటికే ఇవన్నీ చేసుకుంటే ఆఫీసులో అనుకుంటారు నేను ఏదో సంపాదిస్తున్నా అనుకుంటారు, కానీ వాలంటీర్ యాక్టివిటీ అని తెలియదు. జనాలు అంతా చీప్ మెంటాలిటీ. ఇవన్నీ అందరినీ ప్రమోట్ చేస్తున్నట్టు ఆలోచించారు.
అవును. దట్స్ ట్రూ.
సరే ఒక్క నిమిషం, ఆయనకు ఫోన్ చేస్తా లాలేష్కి. ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ ఈస్ 3 minutes అవే. రెడీయా? 3 minutes ఇంకా ఉంది. సో
తంబు చూపించాలి సార్, తంబు చూపించి కొంచెం పాజ్ ఇచ్చి స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
ఓకే. నువ్వు ఎట్లా తెలుస్తుంది నాకు నువ్వు స్టార్ట్ చేసినట్టు?
జస్ట్ తంబు ఇచ్చేసి వెళ్ళిపోండి ఇంకా.
ఓకే సరే, కరెక్ట్ 9 o'clock కి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తా చూడు. 3 minutes ఉంది.
సార్ని కొంచెం స్టిల్ గా సార్, అంటే హెడ్ కట్ కాకుండా.
నేనా
గెస్ట్ సార్?
గెస్టా? ఓకే
మీరు పర్ఫెక్ట్.
నాది పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఉంది, కానీ అన్న మీ హెడ్ కిందికి రావాలి ఇంకా కొద్దిగా సిస్టమ్ ని లేపండి.
ఓకే,
కొద్దిగా నా హెడ్ మీ హెడ్ సేమ్ ఉంటే మనకు పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఉంటుంది. నాది పర్ఫెక్ట్ వచ్చింది ఈరోజు లైటింగ్.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ సార్.
యా ఇది పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఉంది. దిస్ ఇస్ పర్ఫెక్ట్. రైట్. దీన్ని కొద్దిగా ఇంకా ప్రమోట్ చేయాలన్నా, కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే డబ్బులు పెట్టాలి. దట్ ఈస్ వేర్ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు గో ఇన్ టు దట్. 10 మందికి తెలిపినా చాలు, నేను ఐఎమ్ నాట్ వరీడ్ అబౌట్ ఎనీథింగ్. రైట్ అన్న, 1 minute ఉంది. సో విల్ గెట్ రెడీ.
తెలుగునే కదా మాట్లాడేది?
ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడు.
థ్యాంక్ గుడ్నెస్.
రైట్, ఇంగ్లీష్. Lalesh, 1 minute ఇంకా. I will show my thumb and give a pass and start. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. రేపు ఆస్ట్రేలియాలో నెక్స్ట్. ఆస్ట్రేలియా హీ వన్ కౌన్సిల్ బిజినెస్, మన మున్సిపల్ కౌన్సిల్.
అవునా?
ఎవరు విన్ అయితే ఎక్కడ చూస్తే వాళ్ళని ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు ప్రమోట్ అంతే. NRI. First is US, then any other country.
Of course. ఇది లైట్ మంచిగానే ఉందా అది?
బాగానే ఉందా? రైట్. Welcome to Mana TV and TV5. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. As you all know, we bring to the show with different leaders in the community to bring awareness. Today, we are going to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Narendra Reddy, who is one of my good friend and well-wisher from Atlanta. And he is running for the Georgia State House of Representatives. Welcome, Narendra Garu. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you, TV5 and Mana TV.
First of all, thank you so much and congratulations for running onto the Georgia State of House of Representatives from Republican Party. Let me introduce Mr. Narendra Reddy. He has earned his MBA from the University of Evansville, Indiana. He is 35-year resident of Georgia and has been appointed by both Governor Sonny Perdue and Governor Nathan Deal to serve as a board member of Georgia Regional Transport Authority. He is the owner and president of Sterling Realty Services and into the commercial real estate firm, and was founding director of Quantum National Bank, where he used his experience in real estate. Narendra Reddy's political activism has been running more than 3 decades as a chairman, Indian American Forum for Political Education, since Georgia chapter since 1995. He has been working tirelessly to get Indian Americans participate in the mainstream political arena by getting involved in the election campaigns and casting their votes. In the Republican Party, Narendra has been recognized as the important leader at the state and national level. He has been invited to speak at Georgia Republican Party State Convention on several occasions, where he stressed upon the party leadership to take initiative to have ethnic group like Indian Americans join the Republican Party. Narendra's friendship with congressmen and senators was very useful in successful lobbying for the passage of US Indian Civil Nuclear Bill in the Congress. Due to his relentless effort, congressmen who were used to adopting anti-India stance in Congress have been turned into great friendship of India and in the Indian American community. Owing to his help in election campaigns and friendship, President George Bush invited Narendra to the state dinner hosted in honor of Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, at the White House. In addition to this political activism, he has also been part of the many Indian American associations like TAMA, ICA, ATA, Hindu Temple of Atlanta, and several others organizations in various capacity. Not only as a great community leader, he is there for the community for any sort of help. Thank you so much, Narendra Garu, for your efforts and being 3 decades in Republican Party. So before getting into the deep of this, you are running for this Georgia State of House of Representatives. Why don't you let us know more about the political system and about the geographical of Georgia, so that the viewers understand the political arena and where you are contesting for.
I'm contesting from District 50. This is a city called Johns Creek, a northern suburb of Atlanta, and where diversity is there. We have a lot of ethnic groups like Indians, Chinese, Koreans, about 50% of them. And the other 50% is mostly white people, white community. So, but this district is a very swing voter. Swing voters means about 40% of these voters are independent. They don't have a party affiliations. Right now, they look at it only the candidate and their agenda. If they like the agenda, they cross the party lines and they vote. So this district is winnable seat, even though currently it is a Democrats is occupying this chair for this district. Republicans can win this seat. That is the reason I did my analysis and my consultant did the analysis, and we thought we can win this seat. So that is the reason I got into this contest. But I have a first primary in the sense, I'm contesting with 2 other Republicans to get the nomination of the Republican Party. That will be the election on May 24th of this year. After that, if I win, of course I'm going to win, there is no doubt about it. Then I'm going to go to the November election with a Democrat who is currently elected and serving the legislature. But I want to defeat her. And I think it is a very good possibility I'm going to defeat her, because I have a lot of support from various communities, including Republican Party leadership. So this election is going to be very important for our community, particularly, so that I can prove to the particularly Indian Americans and other ethnics, that even if our skin color is different, if you have a good agenda, if you are actually involved in the party, you still can win these elections. So when I get elected, this will be an inspiration moment for most of the second generation people, particularly. So that's my goal. More than for me, the win has to be for our community and for other people who gets inspired later on to run for other offices.
Absolutely, Mr. Reddy. We are in support of yours, and we know that you are in almost 3 decades you have served Republican Party. So what made you wait so long to contest?
In the elections, particularly what happens is the perfect time has to come. I never wanted to run for an office if there is no chance of winning, because at least there should be a reasonable chance of winning the election. Then only we should run. Otherwise, we'll be spending our money, community money, everyone's money for nothing. About 12 years back, I had that opportunity. I was already decided to run for that state senate. But unfortunately, that time the incumbent, who was a Republican, supposed to be retiring, in the last minute he changed his mind and he wanted to continue. And I never wanted to run against another Republican in the election, in the primary, particularly in incumbent. The incumbent is very important, and he's been serving that particular seat for more than 10 years. So I dropped out. After that, I never got the chance. And also, this time I decided only because this is an open seat, in the sense the current legislator of Democratic Party is not running. So there is a new Democratic Party candidate is coming into the picture. So it's an open seat in every way. So that is the reason I wanted to run this time and win.
Excellent. So you have told that in the May, you will be running against the another Republican Party member. So will this voting be across the state or the district which you are participating, and whoever wins, they will go further in the real election? Is that what my understanding correct?
This is only for the district. There are 2 other candidates, including me. Then, including me, it will be 3 candidates. Out of that, they will elect only one to represent the Republican Party in November. So this district is basically Johns Creek City and a little part of Alpharetta.
Absolutely. If we are considering District 50, tell us how many districts are there in Georgia, and what is the population of District 50, and how many votes, at least from the prior experience, what is the percentage of voting, and how much at least you need to accomplish to win?
Let me clarify this. What is this House of Representatives is? Just like in AP or Telangana, they have the assembly. So this is an equivalent position. The representative means is like a MLA in under Indian Constitution. Mm-hmm. So the district has about 50,000 voters in this district. And but unfortunately in America also the voting percentage is very poor. About 60% of the people will vote. That could be around 30,000. And out of 30,000, we have to win. Or if you are lucky this year, because we have a governor election, same time as in November as this election. So there may be more people coming this time to participate in the November election. It could go to 70%. So total voting is, total voters list is about 50,000. Out of that, 70% people will vote. So the position, as I said before, it is the same equivalent to MLA. Here in Georgia Assembly, we have 180 representatives. And now I will be one of those 180 representatives.
Excellent. That gives more insight to the viewers exactly where you are contesting for. So out of this 30,000, what do you think the Indian American voters would be there, and how are we going to tap these voters?
Indian American voters could be, if they participate in this election process, but most of the Indian Americans really, it is very sad to see, they don't participate in the election process. Only about 20% of the people will vote, 20-25%. But if they come more, for example, in this district, they can make an impact on the result of the election. By showing up, more people showing up, they can twist the results to a candidate that they prefer. So for me, any Indian American vote will be like a bonus. In addition to the mainstream voters, if I can get about a couple of thousand votes from the Indian Americans, that will be a bonus, and I can win the primary outright.
Absolutely. I think it's a very sad thing. I think all the viewers should note now, we have a choice. We have a strong determination that we have to vote and win our Mr. Reddy, so that, your support is very important. I would like to request each and every voter to please participate in the vote and make a difference in the community. So what are your, before I go to your agenda, Mr. Reddy, I just wanted to ask, what are your observations in the current political system, and how do you think you can make a difference, especially in the minorities?
See, for everything, if you want to negotiate or if you want to stop a legislation being passed which can hurt our community, you need to have a seat at the table. You cannot negotiate with the party leadership or government or governor by staying outside. You have to be in the system. To get into the system, you have to get into the elected positions. If you are an elected officer, elected member of the assembly, then you can sit with them and say, okay, this particular proposal that you're passing is not going to help us. Actually, it is going to help our community. For example, if they pass a law on education, who is going to get affected? Indian children, everybody's children. But at the same time, Indian children have a different kind of outlook in the education and future because of their parents' involvement in day-to-day education. I'm not saying that Americans don't get involved, but Indians have a different attitude towards the children and their future. Because as an Indian American, I want my children to be successful. There is no negotiation on that. But if the government says that, okay, if in this school particularly, there are about 25% of the students are Indian Americans only, we need to cut down that percentage. That is going to hurt all of us. So that time you need a representative who can sit with the governor or government and say, no, this is discrimination, we cannot tolerate, you have to give us the equal opportunity. For everything we know, for example, businesses also. If you are doing a business, like I say, most of our Indian Americans are in the hotel business. If the government passes a regulation saying that for hotel industry, instead of, let us say, instead of 10% tax, we are going to increase it to 15%. Who is going to get affected? Indian Americans. And then once they say 15%, if they pass the law, you cannot do anything. But you have a representative from your community, then you can go and sit there with them and say, okay, this is not right because it's going to hurt our business. Not only that, we're going to lose our business. So you need to stop this legislation. It will work. But if you are talking about staying outside and standing on the sidelines and shouting about this is discrimination and all that, it's not going to change anything.
Absolutely, you are very true. So you have made an interesting point on the education system. You said that if it is more than 25% of the Indian community, for example, I'm saying in any of the district, there is a possibility to cut down. So is it based on the different communities in the school system? Everyone has an equal, or because it all depends upon the residents who are living in that district or who are living in that school district, right? So it is insane to say that only 20% can be in the school, and that how this will work. I feel that this is injustice, if at all there is an example you quoted.
No. For example, what happens is Northview High School, let us say. Okay, Northview High School, a lot of Indian Americans live in the district jurisdiction. And Northview High School, one of the top schools in the state. And 50% of the Northview School district's population is ethnic groups like Chinese, Koreans, and Indians. Suppose the government says, because this is top school, right? They create one other school in the same district, just like a new school. And they say, oh, no, half of these people have to go to that school. Legally, it is right. Actually, they can allocate the students based on the class size and school size. Whenever they open a new school, they can allocate from certain number of this students from this school to the other school. But our people may not want to leave because Northview is a very top school in the state and they want to stay there. But how are you going to stop? You cannot, unless you have a political involvement, political influence. Just like in any country, in a democracy, political participation is very important for anybody to get their rights and rights preserved. Otherwise, will be very tough for us. If you don't want to be part of the political system, then you cannot get anything done that is favorable to you. And also you cannot stop anything that is going to hurt you. So we have to be very careful, and we need to have a more political participation. For last 30 years, I've been preaching to the Indian community all the time, take a seat, take a role in the political system in this country. You keep on talking about Indian politics, but you never talk about American politics. American politics are more important to us because we are living here, and these are the politics that can change our lives. So this is a very crucial for Indian Americans. I don't know, we are successful in everything, but except politics. So by this election, I want to prove to our community once again that we can be successful in politics too.
You are absolutely right, Mr. Reddy. I think this is very much required. And I could see probably in these last 2 years, there is a little momentum in the Indian community. What is your observation?
It is coming, but still we are very backward compared to, let me put it this way, okay? In the country, our Indian population is about 1.25%, where a Jewish community is only 2.5%. So they're only double the size of our Indian community. But look at the political power the Jewish community has in the country. They have about 27, 28 congressmen in the US Congress.
Oh.
How many we have? 4. That too, only a few years back it happened. Before that, we never had any representation in the House or Congress. How many Jewish justices are there in the Supreme Court? Always 3 or 4. Till today, Indian community never had even one judge in the Supreme Court. It's not that Indians are not qualified. They are qualified, but they don't have the political influence to get nominated to the Supreme Court, because US Supreme Court judges are nominated by the president. Slowly we are coming, but still we are nowhere. And we have a long way to catch compared to the Jewish community. And also, whenever something happens to Israel, if there is a legislation going against Israel, this Jewish population can prevent that happening in the US Congress. But for Indians, it is very tough to stop anything if the legislation is passing in the US Congress, which can be detrimental to Indian population or India, to the country of India. As a NRIs, we cannot do much other than just to represent our concerns to the congressmen and all that. But we really need more participation from the Indian community to get their community interest in this country. Also, if they want to protect rights for the India or provide advantages to India.
Absolutely. I think it's high time for all of us to step up and be part of the political system. I think, Mr. Reddy, I would also ask you, your 30 years of years in the political system, being in the Republican Party, I would like to ask you 2 questions. The main parties in the US system are Democratic and Republican, right? My first question is, why did you choose Republican Party? The second question I wanted to ask is, why do you see the Indian community not coming into the political system? What is your observation? Are they busy in their own work, or they are not interested in this? What is your observation?
First, I will tell you why I'm a Republican. I came to this country in 1982. That time it was President Reagan was in the first term as a president at the time. I used to listen to his speeches. His speeches are mostly focused on preaching to the people about having faith, having good education, to work hard in the business, and to be self-sufficient with their own businesses than depending on the government. And also he used to say, since you're working hard and making money, so you have to save most of your money to yourself and pay less taxes to the government. And I used to wonder all those days when I was listening, these are the same values our Indian parents bring us, always brought us up. One thing is, they always told us education is the best tool for success. And also they told us, have faith in the God. And that we always participated in the family rituals in India when we were growing up, all religious festivals. And also family values. In India, the best family values are everybody cares for everybody in the family. And these are the values that Republican Party was preaching. So I used to wonder why Indian Americans mostly vote for the Democrats. So that is the time I decided once I'm done with my graduation and go into the strongly stable in the financial in finance with finances, I will go into the Republican Party actively involved. So when Senior Bush was running for the re-election, I got involved in his campaign. After that, I never quit. I've been supporting the senators, governors, congressmen, and like George Bush Jr. also. All the time I was involved, and I was also trying to bring more community members into the system. The other question is, what was the other question? Sorry.
What is your observation why Indians are not participating in the political system or not voting?
I don't want to say negatively, but when we were growing up, particularly my generation in India, politics in India was no parent would say. Let me put it this way: no parent would say, "I'm going to bring up my child to be an MLA, MP someday." Nobody would. They would say, "I would bring up my child to be a doctor, engineer, or I will send him to abroad." This kind of dreams they had, but nobody had a dream for their child to be a politician, because somehow in those days, I don't know now because I kind of lost connection. Uh, those days, politics means not a good thing. So we came with the same baggage to this country, and we think American politics also same. So that's why even now it is very difficult for a parent to accept that his child is going to go into politics as a career. Those they try to discourage them. Very few families are realizing now. They are also but they are encouraging their children to take an active role in politics. But as I said before, there is a long way before we can reach the destination.
You are absolutely right. I think the mindset has to change from the Indian community as well. Yeah. Of course, at least our younger generation should be changed from that perspective. And thanks for clarifying why did you join Republican. So my understanding was I could see more opportunities for the Indian Americans in participating in the more opportunities, like having a judge, being in the medical boards, and also in the transportation boards, police boards. So I could see more in the Republican era during the Trump era, right? Yeah. During the Trump period, I could see a lot of. So I was just thinking maybe because we have a lot of opportunities, all are diverting to the Republican Party. But thanks for clarifying that. So in your view, from the Indian community, what is the percentage of votes between Republican and Democrats?
The highest percentage they ever voted for Republicans is during President Junior Bush, George W. Bush time. He got about 28%, and Trump got about 25%. And rest of the time, all the time, Indians still about 70% plus, they vote for only Democrats. They voted for even Biden. So you can imagine. Now they're regretting. I don't want to talk about politics, but they are regretting for voting Biden because of the high prices. Look at the gas prices. They are almost like a 25% went up compared to more than 25% went up compared to what it was to 1 year back. So they're realizing, but at the same time, still the other perception among the Indian Americans is Republican Party means only for white people. That is a perception. And also the other perception they have is Republicans means anti-immigrants. But actually they don't look at the history. The most beneficial things were done to the immigrants was by Republican administrations. Democrats only promise, always we do this, but they never delivered. But Indian Americans, I don't know why, as smart as they are, they still believe Democrats are the saviors of the Indian American community and other ethnic communities. They really think even today, Republicans are not the good people for the Indian American communities and other ethnic communities, which is totally wrong perception, because I've been in the Republican Party for 30 years. I never faced any discrimination. On the top of it, I got into some very good positions, like a electoral college member. I was an electoral college member. Till today, I'm the only Indian American who was an electoral college member to elect the president. And also we have the board positions now in Georgia, because I asked Governor Sonny Perdue when he got elected, we have a very good percentage of Indian American doctors in this country, but we don't have board membership for anybody. After that, he appointed one, and later on, Governor Nathan Deal appointed one. Now we have two people. Dr. Srini Gangasani and Dr. Bhatt, they both are serving on the board. So I could do that because I was at the table. I was already sitting with them. If I don't do that, we could have never had a membership in the board of the medical board. Also, I was appointed to the transportation board. That itself is a very powerful board in state of Georgia, because we got to decide where the new roads going to come, where we're going to build, all these things. It's a powerful board. But I was the only, even today, after 18 years, I was the only guy differently looking from other board members. For all this, only thing is it happened is because of political power, I gained slowly over a period of 30 years.
Absolutely. I think that's the great work done by you, Mr. Reddy. I think we need to do more on the table. So I think probably I would also focus or emphasize on the perception, what you talked about between the Democrats and the Republicans. Maybe our community mainly gauges, especially on the H-1 visas, as you said, immigrant visas. But don't you think when Trump and now things might change, the ease of visa, you can see the difference? Or what is your feeling?
See, Republican Party is for to get the immigrants with high skills, which is perfect for India. Because whoever is the immigrant from India, they are coming with the graduate degrees and master's degrees. So for them, Republicans are the one. Look at the H-1 visas. During Bush administration, they doubled the number of H-1 visas.
Yeah.
That's how it went. Always they did a good help for the immigrants with the high skills. Only thing is Republicans are against illegal immigration, people who are crossing the border coming into this country. No country in the world will let anybody come illegally. Same sorry. Same as any country, Republicans wants to protect the borders of this country. What is wrong with that? And the H-1 visas and all that, now we are working to eliminate the percentages of the country of origin for H-1 visa people to get the green cards. Republicans are working on that. Hopefully, if it passes, Indians have much more chance of getting the green cards faster. Right now, it is taking a lot of time because there are a lot of pending applications, and also the percentage is holding the government not to give certain green cards to certain people. So, but ultimately it will be resolved. I think it is only either if the Republican Party comes to power at the federal level, like new president, if he's a Republican, it is going to be resolved for sure.
We hope for the best. I think that would be an absolute good news for the community. And coming to the core of this meeting, so you have a lot of experience from the community, being a community leader, serving in the national organizations. You have seen number of issues arising into the community. So based on all these things, what is your top 5 agenda items which you would quote for the community?
For everybody, Indian American or American, first thing is for me is education. In this district, Johns Creek, we don't have a charter schools. Charter schools for like a gifted students. Gifted students in the sense in a classroom who has a high percentage of success and very ambitious, very motivated. We cannot put the same kids with those kids with the same group who are performing below par. So to get these people with high skills or much successful rate and more motivation, we need to take them into a separate group, put them there so that they can challenge each other and they can grow further and further in learning the subjects, in advanced subjects, I mean. For that, we need a charter schools. Right now in Johns Creek, we have no charter school, but one charter school in Alpharetta, that's where our kids are going. But we need more. If I get elected, I will get the state funding for more charter schools. That will help everyone who has a very high success rate in the classroom and whose parents also will be motivated to send their kids to charter schools. That is education. Public safety, as you know, for the last few years, we have a lot of violence in
Yes.
you'll notice it, lot of violence even they're destroying the public property and private property. Even we have break-ins in the houses. and they're stealing, there are robberies and all these things. The public safety is very important for all of us because we may lose one day some family member for random violent act by a criminal. Therefore, to get the public safety, we need to support the police. My agenda is to support the police with funding and we motivate them and those kind of things. The other one is in the schools these days, the teachers are teaching the kids more than anything the ideologies, like a leftist ideology, like a socialistic principles. For America foundation is based on the capitalistic society, and they cannot go with socialistic because when I left the country, India, 40 years ago, India was following the socialistic economy. I know what kind of effects, bad effects it has on our economy and our lifestyles and all that. At least today, India is growing much faster because they adapted the market economy. But in those days, it was not. But in America, which taught the whole world about the market economy and the capitalistic society, Democrats are trying to take it to back way, saying that we need to have everybody equal distribution of wealth. Equal distribution of wealth occurs only when everybody works equally. If you don't work equally, if you don't have the equal strength and equal merits and equal motivation, you don't get special rights from the government for nothing. So, but the Democrats are proposing those kind of things. Everything is, let us give this money free, that money free. Once you start giving free, people stop working. They lost the motivation to work. So the political system is, but that is the main reason I'm worried about the political system in this country going backwards to the leftist ideology. But those are the ideologies they are teaching in the schools now. I'm against that kind of thing. And one more thing is, this radical agenda, we want to keep it out of Georgia because South, particularly Georgia, has been always conservative. And we want to keep the Georgia with conservative values where the family has to focus on their children and family has to enjoy the life together and the family needs to motivate each other so that everybody in the family can be successful, not depending on the government for any kind of financial help. So those are my main agenda items.
Absolutely. I think especially on the education and safety, those are the high priority items where the community requires. And I was shocked to hear that here also we have a freebies in the community, in the government, that I didn't know. That's a good catch I could learn from this conversation. So tell us more about the strategy. How do you win the votes, non-Indian American community? What is your strategy? Why should they vote you?
Why should they vote me? Well, because I'm one of their own. That's one thing, Indian community particularly. Mm-hmm. And also they should know that irrespective of their party loyalties, in the past also, whenever they wanted help, I was always there for them. I never asked them, oh, since you are a Democrat, I cannot help. I never said that. Whoever came to me asking for help with my connections with the governor or congressmen or senators, I just helped them out. So now I'm asking them, I've been asking others to help us. Rather, if you elect me, I can help you directly. So I don't have to go through another channel. So that way, whenever you need help, it comes faster than through the third party. So that is one thing. And also my strategy is to get the Indian American vote for two reasons. One is to have me elected. Second one is to participate in this political process, to elect a Republican to the state assembly who can represent them for their educational values, family values, and everything, so that I can protect them. If I'm not, the other strategies, of course, in the mainstream vote is the one that is going to elect me or defeat me. So in the mainstream already I'm very much involved. My party leadership, including all the elected officials right now in Johns Creek, and also the former mayor, people like that, they're all supporting me in this primary. Even though it is a primary among all the three Republicans, they are supporting me. Once I get elected in the primary, I already met with the speaker, and the speaker office said they're going to campaign for me and they're going to help me in every way they can. So I have a very good faith that I'm going to get elected in the primaries.
Awesome. We also wish that you should win, Mr. Reddy. So tell us on the campaign, especially on the campaign for the primary and the mainstream. What is the campaigning strategy? Because the viewers will be more interested because for the first time you are doing from the community. What is the campaign for Indian community and non-Indian community? How would you approach? What would be the simple steps you will be doing in both the streams?
One is I'm knocking on the doors. When I go to, I like to participate and go to as many homes as possible physically. And also other one is my volunteer groups. They will visit every house in the district, giving my agenda items and giving my campaign literature to them. More than that, I have a direct mail system. The direct mail goes to all the Republicans who voted in the last one election or two election as a Republican primary, in the primary. So that is one thing I'm doing, direct mailing for the mainstream. And also for Indian American community, my plan is to devise a particular direct mail that will be designed only for Indian Americans. So that we know, because as an Indian American, I know what are their concerns, what are their issues. So on that, I will give my solutions and my proposals in the direct mail. This direct mail is going to start this week, next week. Between now and May 24th, I will have 4 direct mails to the Indian community and about 8 direct mails to the mainstream community. This is called target marketing, and target marketing is much result oriented compared to the just sending everybody a generic email, generic mails. And these elections are very expensive. I'm sure you are watching in this country how the presidential election became a $1 billion thing. Even a congressman election is becoming like a $20 million thing. So these elections are very expensive, but luckily I did a very good fundraiser for the January. And of course, I will be doing continuously because the elections are going to cost me a lot more money than originally I budgeted, because we have a primary. In the beginning, I was not planning to have a primary. I was not thinking that there will be a primary, but it happened, so I have to face it. So first election, I have to spend money on the primary in May 24th. Then the party will support me, and I will get more money from everybody, friends and family, with that for the November elections. So financially we'll be okay, but the message, particularly, I'm so glad your TV channel is conducting this interview so that more people will get this interview and they watch it, they understand what I am, who I am, and why I'm running for this election. That will be a great thing. Actually, this is going to this is a great opportunity for me to convey my message to Indian community and other communities. So that is my strategy. And we have a consultant who is a number 1 in Georgia. I hired him and he's working, and he guides me with my strategy. Because even though I was involved in politics for 30 years, I never did a campaign for myself. So this is a totally new thing, but I'm getting there. I'm learning every day something.
Glad to hear your strategy, and we wish you a good luck. And final question before I open up to you to give a message to the community. What is your ultimate goal as a community leader? You have already served the community for 30 years, and now you have done your political entry as well. So what is your ultimate goal as a community leader, as a political leader?
I'm always involved with the community, even now, because our community has special needs and special requirements, special issues. I'm always involved with our community. Through this election, what happens is I will get more power to get resolved those issues faster compared to previously when I was dealing with these issues whenever the community came to me. But this way, once the community can feel that they have their own man sitting at the table for negotiations or anything at the government level, being elected has a lot more, it carries a lot more weightage when you go and talk to the speaker or governor or anybody. As an elected member, unlike in India, here we have the access to the governor and speaker. Particularly for me, even if I'm a freshman legislator, when I get elected, I have more access to these people because of my past friendships with them. Because the governor is a friend of mine already, speaker we know very well, and other legislators, I know most of them. So it will be easy for me. What I'm going to ask our Indian community is, set aside your party agendas, just support me this election as an Indian American, because you need one there, and watch me for next 2 years, how I perform there. And my goal ultimately is, by getting elected to this position next to for serving next 2 years, we will have a chance to have more Indian Americans running for this kind of positions in 2 years from now. That is going to give us more number in the legislature. That means more power. More power in the sense, at least you can protect your communities. Also, it can help your children's education, your businesses.
I'm very confident, as you said, we are very confident in the community that if you are there, we will have a lot of support. You have always been with us, and I have been watching you since 4 to 5 years in my career in Atlanta, and you are such a wonderful person, and we wish you good luck. And final message in the interest of time, from the community, what support, help, donations, where they have to donate, and how you want to go ahead. Please let us know your message so that the community can support you, work for you, donate if it is required, and do whatever it is required for all of us to make you win.
First and foremost, I request our community to forward this message to everybody who lives in Johns Creek. Maybe even if you don't live in Johns Creek, you may have some friends. Call them. Particularly, you have to insist for them to go on the primary day, election day, to vote. This time, it's not 25%. They should show at least 80% of Indian Americans should vote in this election. For that, I need the community leaders and community help to convey this message that they go on the election day, and also set aside your party agenda. Vote this time only for me. Don't look my party or anything as an excuse. Even though I'm a Republican, doesn't mean that I'm against you or Democrats or anything, because I want to work with everybody. And like I mentioned before, the elections are very expensive, and they're getting very expensive. Any contributions, financial contributions, will be great help to my campaign. If you cannot meet me at the event, still you can do online. My website is www.readyforhouse.com. That is readyforhouse.com. You can make your donations there. And once again, I thank this TV channel for doing this interview. This means a lot to me in conveying my message. This will help me a lot. Thank you so much, Praveen. You've been in the community for so long now. You are everywhere. So people know you more than anybody. So,
thank you.
But you need to tell people too, please tell everyone that you see, go and vote on the election day. Or if they don't live in Johns Creek, ask them to call their friends in Johns Creek.
Definitely, Mr. Reddy. I think we will definitely vote, and I will pass on this message. Thank you to TV5 and Mana TV for having this opportunity. And this is all about today, and Mr. Reddy for running for the Georgia House of Representative. Everyone, please vote, please help, support, donate to Mr. Reddy. And we wanted someone from the community. It is our voice. It will help us to achieve what our kids want. So please do come out of the house and at least vote. So this should at least increase our voting capability from 20 to 80%. And again, please watch this video, share this video, and support Mr. Reddy. Thank you so much, and we wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.